Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be putting two foundations head to head by the same brand, and they look very similar, and I want to know what the differences are. So the reason behind this video is, I've mentioned this is the last time I'm going to talk about it, but I'm finally able to make AdSense money, and I got my first check from YouTube, and I wanted to put it all back into a video. So I took the amount of my first check and put it into makeup for this video. And this is something I would never have bought otherwise. I would not have spent this much money on two foundations, but I have been curious and I wanted to put them to the test for you. So I bought two foundations from Chanel. They gave me some samples, so I might try some of these as well. Today we're gonna be putting head to head the Chanel Les Beiges Tint, Waterfresh Tint, which has been quite viral on social media. This has been a huge favorite for so many people, but they have another one that's called the Waterfresh Complexion Touch. I believe, so they look very similar. I believe this one's just a lighter coverage and this one's just a heavier coverage. Hydrate, natural and buildable, healthy looking glow. And this says bare skin effect, natural luminous healthy glow, brush applicator. Okay, so this is more of a tint. This is more of a probably medium foundation. We will find out. But another reason that I was very interested in these is because I got the Waterfresh blush from Chanel and I loved the way it felt going on the skin. My Chanel blush is on the floor, of course. When you have makeup everywhere, Chanel ends up in the floor. So here's the blush, which I'll use today as well. But we're gonna put these side by side on my face, and I'm probably gonna wear these throughout the day. It depends on how different they look. I do have a photo shoot later, so I don't want to look crazy, but let's see how this goes. All right, so first of all, let's open these up. They are the same price, but one is bigger than the other one. These are both $70, but let's open these up. I got the shade Light B10 in both of them, I believe. Lightest shade for both foundations. So they also both come with a brush. So here is, which this does not look light to me. This looks very, very dark, but it's a light coverage. So I'm hoping it will be okay. Do you see the difference? And it comes with this adorable little brush. How stinking cute is that? It's so soft. I normally wash my brushes before I use them. So I may just use my brush I normally use. I don't know, we'll see. Actually I may use the separate brushes because this one comes with a brush too, I believe. So this is the Complexion Touch. And this one looks like it is a better shade match, which is good since it is a more pigmented product. And look at the little bitty brush. Look at the how is this for a foundation? Anyways, here are the two little brushes. I could see this being a concealer brush. Anyways, so here they are. We're gonna put Chanel against Chanel. They're both the lightest shade. Again, like I said, this is very dark. This one looks like it's gonna be a match. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear these throughout the day side by side. We shall see. So here are the two foundations. And let's dig into this. So first, we have a serum from Chanel that they gave me a sample of, which I want to try. I have already put on my sunscreen, so I probably shouldn't, this is not the right order to do this in, but that's okay. It is fragranced, the serum, like most of their stuff. I really enjoy the Chanel #1 foundation, which this is the #1 de Chanel serum, so it smells a lot like that. These are pretty hydrating products, I believe, so I think they're gonna be really good for my dry skin, but we're gonna do the tint on one side and the Complexion Touch on this side. So let's start with the tint, because this is the most well-known product. So let me show you what this looks like. So if you are not familiar with this product, it is, I don't know what you would call the base of this, but it's like a serum-y consistency with little beads of pigment in it. And then you rub this and those beads pop, and then you have your tint. This does look like it's a very, very light coverage. Because of the nature of this product, I actually feel like putting it on with my hands is going to be a good option. It feels very, very good. There is a little layer of that. It did make my skin very plump and hydrated. It did not really give me coverage. Maybe like the tiniest amount of coverage. I feel like this is a product that I will want to just slap on my face and then go out the door. It's not one that is gonna be like a full face of makeup kind of product. I'm gonna try with the little brush. I'm breaking my rule here, but I'm gonna work it into the brush and see if this puts on any more coverage. Yeah, it puts on a little bit, and since it is such a light coverage, it does not look too dark on my skin. It's meshing and blending well, even though it is a dark shade in the container. That actually looks pretty nice. I mean, again, there's barely any coverage, but my skin looks good and healthy. Okay, so that is the Viral Les Beiges Tint. I don't know if this is worth $70 with the effect that it gives. It's basically a serum. My skin does look nice and plump though, so that's nice. But yeah, there's not really any coverage to it. So let's see if this will give the same plumpness but actually give us some coverage. So I'm going to put this on the other hand. So there is that one. Definitely more pigment in that. Let's, come on, focus. See, yeah, definitely, oh, that's definitely gonna have more pigment. I think I'm gonna use my normal foundation brush. I'm gonna just go into this and onto the face. Oh yeah, there's definitely some color there. So I mentioned that they're different sizes, like different amounts of product. So the tint is 1 fluid ounce, which is a standard foundation size. And for the same price, the Complexion Touch is, I think, 0.7 fluid ounces. So it's definitely more expensive to get the Complexion Touch, but this is more like a foundation. I do feel like it still has that hydrating factor to it. You can kind of see it's glowy. They have a very, very similar feel. But this actually has some coverage. I'm very curious as to why one of them went viral versus the other one. And again, why it's the one that doesn't really have any coverage to it. That's beautiful. So I would consider this to be a light to medium buildable coverage. I don't think that you could get this to full coverage. I'm trying to see the difference. I feel like this side looks a little bit more plump than this side, but it could just be the texture on that side of the skin is less. I don't know. There's not a huge difference though, like one side to the other. I don't think I'm gonna feel weird in public like this, so I will probably wear this throughout the day. So yeah, it feels good. It does have a little bit of a scent, but it's not like as strong as my other Chanel foundation. The #1 Chanel Day Chanel foundation has a little bit more, I think, of a scent. Like it's a little more fragrance than these. So if you want a less fragrant option, these are good. Again, they do still smell, but just not quite as strong. This is a beautiful foundation and I love this one. It makes me kind of want to compare these two side by side because it has a similar plumping glowy effect, and I wonder how different these two are. And this one is 1 fluid ounce. It's a little bit more. I think it's 75 or 80, but I think price per ounce, it might be a tiny bit cheaper than getting this one. So I'm going to put the rest of my makeup on and we will see how they are looking. There's something about this side that looks good though, not gonna lie. Okay, so I'm gonna start with putting the Chanel Les Beiges Waterfresh blush on. So there is that. The way I've been using this is I just take my brush and I swirl into it and then tap it on my cheeks. And I have been very much enjoying this blush. I had this one in my most versus least expensive at Ulta, and I did conclude that this blush was not worth that high price if you're just going for like a blushy look. This is not as long wearing as the Essence was. Well, that's not the blush, darn it. But it does feel so nice going on, and I do enjoy the look of it. Okay, let me put the rest of my makeup on and I'll be right back. By the way, I'm using the tiny brush to blend out my concealer. I don't know why this tiny of a brush is in a foundation, because I would not have the patience to put my entire foundation on with this, but I think it works really well for concealer. Okay, so I have the rest of my makeup on. I am wearing just a little bit of bronzer on my face and eyes from the Cali Ray palette that I recently got. And then I have the Tower 28 lip liner, which I'm still obsessed with a little bit of Maybelline Lifter Gloss on top. Ulta Beauty Lash Flash Mascara and Kosas Brows, and that's all. Like very, very simple, minimal, clean makeup. Let's take a look. So honestly, I don't really see a huge difference from side to side. Now also take into consideration, I don't have a whole lot of acne to cover up or anything. So as far as the coverage goes, it's hard to compare a whole lot. I definitely see a little bit more coverage on the side, but it also looks a tiny bit heavier. Again, not super heavy. If I wasn't comparing side by side, I would not call this heavy by any means. But this side just looks a little, just a smidge more skin-like, smooth, natural. I did not powder at all, so it is a somewhat glowy product. So if you have oily skin, you definitely would probably want to powder this. And I usually powder under my eyes. I just didn't want to for the purposes of this video, but I would normally powder just a little bit under my eyes. I put a tiny bit of Kosas concealer on. But I think the skin actually looks pretty good. So I'm gonna be wearing this all day. I will probably come back in a few hours to wrap up the video and show you how it wore after a few hours, because I am leaving the house for the rest of the day. But I don't anticipate these to be like super long wearing products. There's not a whole lot of coverage there anyways. When I tested out the blush did fade. It is there, but it did fade quite a bit. So I think these are just more skin perfecting products than skin covering products, if that makes sense at all. I'm actually just more drawn to this side, which is so weird because there's no coverage like at all. So that took an interesting twist for me. I didn't think I was going to prefer the tint over the complexion, just because the coverage. That every time I look in the mirror, I like this side. This side just looks more textured a little bit. So I'm curious, have you tried this viral product? Have you been curious as to what the difference is between the two? Honestly, if I were, after trying these out and testing them, if I were just going to buy one, I would actually, darn it, I would actually get the tint, because you get more product for the same price and the end result is very similar. I will put concealer where I need it and then use this just because it makes the skin look so stinking smooth. I find myself reaching for the blush. I like the way it goes on. If you don't like a wet, cooling, wet feeling on your skin, you won't like it, but it's refreshing to me and I like the way it goes on the skin. And I will probably just put this on with my fingers and do some concealer and basically this face right here. So you do want me to test out the Chanel No. 1 foundation against the Les Beiges Complexion Touch. Let me know, because I am curious as to which one of these I would prefer and how they wear and look side by side, because I really do like this foundation. And the shades are so weird. This one is the lightest one as well, and it's just so funny how the shades, these are all the lightest in their range. Alright, so I will be right back after 3 hours and then we'll close out this video. All right, so it's been about 3.5 hours. I've been editing, actually this video. I did some watercolor painting and I laid on the couch for a few minutes. So I think it still looks good. It definitely has worn off some. I don't find this to be a long wearing product by any means. The blush is definitely faded. The coverage has faded, but it does not fade in a weird or crusty way. I do still think that the tint side looks a little bit better than the foundation side. This side does have a little bit more texture and has, well, I'm gonna say it sunk into the pores a little bit, but it still looks pretty good. There is still some coverage. I like both of these products. I think that I definitely want to compare them, or at least compare the foundation to the number one, because I've tested this a lot and I do enjoy it. And I think it wears a little bit better than these, but I want to put that to the test to find that out for sure. But let's get down to which one would I actually buy. I mean, obviously I bought them both, but which one would I buy if I didn't have these now? After testing them, I honestly would get the tint. I feel like this fits in with, especially summer for me. I like to wear just a skin kind of smoothing, plumping, barely there coverage. Just put it on with my hands and go about my day. And for the price and how tiny this is, it has coverage, but not enough difference for me. I actually recommend the one that's been going viral, the Les Beiges Waterfresh Tint. And even though it looks very dark, it worked just fine on my skin. This is my showdown of the Chanel versus Chanel Waterfresh base products. Please let me know if you've tried these in the comments and what your opinions are. I'm very curious to see if anybody else has tried both of these. Let me know what you want me to test out next. I do have another high-end foundation to test out. Oh, it's sitting right here. From Guerlain. I got this a couple of months ago and I need to test that out. So that'll probably be my next video. That's gonna wrap it up for this one. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you wanna see those future videos, hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys next time. Stay gorgeous. Bye. Oh, I'm throwing things on the floor. Here, Chanel, Chanel, Chanel. I hear a whining dog outside. Are there any English words on the back of this? My hair is not cooperating today. Oh well. Here they are. Hold on, my lens is on. There we go, wrong focus.